Hi, I'm Stacey. Welcome back to my channel. Today I thought I would talk about some of the graphic novels that I've been reading recently. So first up, I'm going to do these in a three. These are, so we've got Macbeth, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Frankenstein. So these are graphic novel adaptations of classic works of literature. I'm a big fan of these. These are all books that I've read in their original form multiple times, so I knew the stories really well. But it was really good fun to kind of see a graphic novel version of them. I'd recommend these if you have a young person in your life who is a reluctant reader, perhaps, certainly if they are GCSE sort of age. If you have a reluctant reader, if you have anybody who has learning difficulties, neurodivergencies that give them issues with attention span, or anything where reading chunky texts can be a problem, I really recommend these because they give you a chance to explore character, themes. It makes the language more accessible. You get everything that you need from this. By the time you've read this, you know what happened in the novel, but in a much more accessible way if you are not somebody who would sit down and read the classic. Now, I have read all three of these, which is how I know that they're decent riffs on the story. They don't take any liberty with any of the outcomes. Nobody's changing anything, or it's you could read this and answer GCSE exam questions, and you'd probably know enough to answer what you need to answer. You wouldn't be able to quote as much, and you wouldn't be able to perhaps pull out specific passages of text or dialogue, but you would know what happened. You'd know who everybody was and how they interacted with each other, and you certainly would be able to talk about themes of the book and how different characters' motivations and things like that would totally be accessible to you. So if you have somebody who is a reluctant reader, I would recommend these. But yeah, they were good fun, and I'd look out for more if I saw them. Next up, we had Dry Cleaned. This was in my January TBR. This is by Horace Martins. It's gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. It's really sumptuously illustrated. I'm gonna see if I can find some of the cityscapes. It is absolutely beautiful. It's really atmospheric, gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. I thought that the end of this was odd. I'm not going to spoil, but the end of it came really fast. There was lots of scene setting, lots of mood and vibes being kind of put out there, and lots of character work going into your main character here. And then it wrapped up really fast. And I found that really a bit jarring. I think that was kind of the point. It was meant to be a bit of a but yeah, after kind of getting lulled into this time that I was spending with this character, it did feel a little bit blunt at the end. But still, it was bleak as well. If you're looking for something to cheer you up, this isn't going to do it. But if you are looking for gorgeous illustrations, 10 out of 10. Next up, in a similar vein, actually, I had Emma G Wildford. I want to keep wanting to say Woodford, but it's Wildford. Emma G Wildford. This one was a bit frustrating. I'll see if I can get some non-spoilery pages to give you an idea of the illustrations that you're going to get. Here we go. So again, really pretty, not quite as atmospheric as Dry Cleaned, but really pretty, really aesthetically lovely to spend time in. So with this one, Emma is grieving, worrying, pining. Her fiance has gone off on an Arctic exploration and has disappeared. He's not been heard of since he went off on his travels. Before going, he left her a letter with very strict instructions that she should only open it if he is to die on the expedition, but she does not believe that he has died, so that she won't open the letter. She goes in search of him instead. This again is a weird one because you rattle through it. The story moves it's quite pacey, and everything's kind of happening quite quickly. She doesn't languish about at home for very long. You're on the adventure with her really fast. But then the ending kind of just fizzles, and you sort of, oh, okay. And I could have done with this being about 5 pages longer to give the author time to flesh out the story a little bit more and make it a little bit more substantive. And I think then it would have been really quite good. But it didn't pack any kind of punch at the end for me, which I thought was really disappointing, because the beginning was fairly promising. There's a couple of excess characters in here that don't go anywhere, that you think are going to be important, the way they're kind of set up. And then not only are they not red herrings, they just don't go anywhere. So yeah, it kind of felt like something bigger was planned, and then a word count got in the way. I don't know. But yeah, this was an odd one. Next up, we have Last Hero by Terry Pratchett. The Discworld Fable, this one's pitched as. I'm not going to talk about this one a huge amount because it's spoilery. It's quite easy to kind of give away not just the plot, but the jokes if you talk too much about this one. Suffice to say, I will find an early page so that you can see how beautiful this thing is. I don't think it's spoilery to say that I had a fantastic time with this from start to finish. There is no part of this that I didn't love. There we go. We'll have the librarian, because who doesn't love the librarian? Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's hilariously funny, as most Pratchett stuff is. It's clever. It kind of makes you think about stuff that you weren't expecting to think about when you picked it up. Yeah, I had a good time with this. Last up, we have Cassandra Dark by Posey Simmons. This was really good. I enjoyed this. I didn't know what to expect with this, and I was a little bit disappointed because I ordered a copy just before Christmas, and it arrived, I think it arrived Christmas Eve. And in amongst everything else that was happening Christmas Eve, I didn't notice that the parcel was wet. I don't know if you can see that, but it is heartbreaking is what that is. Luckily, the pages did not stick together. It was still a readable copy, but my feelings were hurt, I'm not gonna lie. Water damage books are just the saddest thing. Just really sad. But anyway, so this lady on the front here, this is Cassandra. Cassandra, when we meet her, is 12 months on from a conviction for fraud, selling counterfeit artwork in her ex-husband's art gallery that she was looking after due to him suffering from dementia, Alzheimer's, and no longer being able to run it himself. He asks her to step in and help, and she does, and she helps herself. But she's caught out. She's given a suspended sentence, and we catch up with her a year later, a bit indignant, feeling very hard done by, feeling as though white collar crime doesn't really have any victims. Yeah, kind of a bit what have you. So we meet Cassandra, and it's very quickly established that she is not liked. She's not a popular person. She is a difficult character, and the people around her do not enjoy her company. She discovers early on in the book a gun in her basement that she believes has been left there by her former lodger. This character here. She doesn't know why the gun is there. She doesn't know what's going on, but she knows enough, thanks to her recent contacts with the police and criminal charges. She knows enough to know that a gun in your house in the UK, a gun in your house is not a good thing. It's certainly not a gun in a laundry basket that you didn't put there. So she sets out to find out why this thing is here, and if her former lodger is up to anything that she shouldn't be that might involve Cassandra, because Cassandra is not looking for any more trouble at this point. She then gets pulled into mystery, mayhem, and japes, which is all I'll say. Spoiler avoidance. I really enjoyed this. Cassandra is a thoroughly belligerent character, but in a way that I think a little voice in the back of our heads always is. Sometimes we're all a little bit Cassandra when you just don't see why people can't just leave you alone and let you do whatever you want. and I enjoyed this. The illustrations on this aren't anywhere near as sumptuous as some of the others that we've been talking about. It's much more comic strippy, but it's still a good time, and it's not anything that puts you off from enjoying it. And like I say, bar the water damage, I had a good time with this one and would recommend. So there we go. We've had a good chunk of graphic novels this month, which is why I decided to sort of separate them from my reading wrap up, because that would just make a really, really long video otherwise. Anyway, has anyone else been reading any good graphic novels? I'm always looking for recommendations, so if you've got any, put them in the comments. I'm always shopping for graphic novels because I do enjoy having them around. They fit in nicely in between other reads. Sometimes if you need a little palate cleanse, you can grab a graphic novel and that's an hour, 2 hours tops, and it just kind of moves you on from one book to another. If something's sitting in your head and you can't work out what to pick up next, I find graphic novels really good, like a nice sorbet. Anyway, hope everyone's all right, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks. Bye bye.